South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rock and dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grand View Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show, every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grand View Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grand View Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby. South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
This is the best sports betting network.
I would argue it is a total mismatch.
There's value with underdog prices in series.
I would lean to the under here.
My numbers are saying I got to bet the Tigers.
Two-way action.
When in doubt, we juice that favorite, that extra nickel.
Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
Forget about it. The best.
Welcome in. Good morning. It's Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. Jeff Parles, Kenny White, Alex White. We're all here on a Thursday. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jeff.
Kenny's got a new marker today.
Yes.
So,
And Alex broke her $50 bill.
That's right.
She got rid of it.
yes, you know what? You could have just donated it to this side of the desk if you really wanted to get rid of it. I would have very happily lost it too. But regardless, we're happy to be with you. We're going to get going with baseball right out of the chute here. Small card, but an early game. We're just going to do all 8 games right out of the chute here, and then we'll get to the reaction of another epic comeback, epic collapse. Either way you want to look at it in the NBA last night, where the Pacers did it again for the 3rd time this postseason, being down 8 or more with a minute to go in a playoff game, and they came back and won in overtime. We'll get to that. We'll get to Stuart Skinner's implosion as well in a little bit.
2 games, one NBA, one NHL, and they both have epic implosions.
Yeah, Stuart Skinner picked a very bad time to regress to the mean. Let's just go with that.
Well, I guess there was 3 power play goals.
Yeah,
so
put him in one
in a
little
tough
nasty
spot.
deflection, but still, you see a 5 spot in the 3rd period. It's never a good sign one way or another. All right, baseball. Let's go there. Let's start in Toronto. It's going to be the Padres. Ryan, you said 3 runs in 5 games for San Diego? Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Padres have lost all those games in that stretch. We've seen this with this Padre team, even when they've been good over the last few years. Yeah. They will just get into these fits where they just cannot hit. Usually it's coinciding with Tatis and Machado struggling at the same time, and that's exactly what's going on right now. They're down to 3rd place in the NL West as well. with this bad stretch. They're minus 15 with Kolek today. Bowden Francis goes for Toronto. He's even money. Total 8.5 north of the border here.
If there was a spot that I think that the Padres could get right, it would be against Bowden Francis. He has definitely struggled and given up some runs as of late. Just looking at his numbers, the Tigers, 4 earned runs on 4 2/3. 3 against the Mariners, not bad at all. In Seattle, though. And then we've got Cleveland and Boston. He gave up 4 and 7. So he hasn't been going deep into games. Maybe that leans us more to an under here if we don't trust the Padres bats in this. But nothing definite for me in this one. That's just kind of the way I was looking at it.
Yeah, it's inconsistency, I think, by both pitchers not knowing. Stephen Kolek was a reliever, now turned into a starter. He had a great outing, shutout, 9 innings, 5 hits at Colorado. That was against the Rockies, and got hit around a little bit in his last outing against Seattle. So not sure what you get in there. Bowden Francis is a guy I really liked last year, or loved when I watched him pitch. He was just a guy that attacked the zone. And this year, though, completely different story. Just not getting good numbers out of him. He's been hit pretty hard the last 3 games. So my numbers are pretty close to being on the game. I lean to the under, but I can't with the uncertainty in both those pitchers.
Staying away. Again, I want to see San Diego start hitting again before we start putting money on it. And also, Padres' money line is trending on Twitter right now. That's usually not a good sign if that happens to be the case with one certain side. All right, we go to Colorado next. The Phillies, team total went over again. We didn't even have to sweat that. Went to the 5th inning, so 3 for 3 in this series. The books have now finally adjusted, though. It's now 7.5 on the team total for Philadelphia in a game that's totaled 11.5. The Phillies are $3 favorites on the road here at the South Point. It's Suarez, who is, again, not pitched great in his limited action so far this year. And it's Germán Marquez, who has been, again, those veterans, those guys who have hung around Colorado for a long time, Marquez, Sanzatella, Freeland, have all been dreadful for the now 8-41 Colorado Rockies. Kenny, you're going back to the well of the, we're lay a 1.5, lay a 2.5, and go from there on Philadelphia here.
Doing it again. You have to just keep fading this Colorado team. Philadelphia's gotten on a great roll. That's the number 1 offense now in baseball. Coors Field to do wonders for your offense. Again, not great hitters weather today, but at least it's a day game. They're putting runs up in pitchers' really preferred weather the last 3 nights, and now they're getting nice weather day, 75 degrees, light winds, ball should carry well. Wish they were blowing out. If they were, it'd be a lot higher total. But because Suarez, 17 innings so far, nowhere near what you're going to see from Ranger Suarez in another month from now, nowhere near midseason form. So right back at it. Philly minus the 2.5, Philly team total over the 7.5, and a correlated parlay. Phillies to the over.
Does it keep you off at all with this 4-game and them going for a 4-game sweep here? I mean, I know it is the Rockies, but getaway day, they are going to Sacramento next. So going to face another team that is also slumping right now, but
yeah, nice little schedule for the Phillies to play the Rockies.
It's a nice week to get fat and happy, right?
Yeah. It's a stat booster, and I think they're looking at that. It worries me a little. It's an issue, but I don't think it's that big of an issue because it is the Athletics in West Sacramento. These guys have never played there. That'll be first time they go play in that stadium.
What about I was just looking as well because of that 7.5 Rockies team total. They did put up 5 yesterday. It's 4.5 for them, or would you rather just full game? I didn't put anything down for this game. So
I'm not betting anything on the Rockies. I'm not betting anything to do with the Rockies, just fading the Rockies.
It will still be an over team total on the Phillies for me. I'm just not as heavy as the last few days. Now
there we go.
We're broaching uncharted waters here at 7.5. So like it's hard to justify. But again, this Colorado pitching staff and it's the starters and the bullpen are all dreadful. And Marquez, who has had a really nice career for the most part, right now, I can't believe that they're still throwing him out there. Yeah. The ERA basically, his ERA is 8.78.
Yeah.
The FIP is over 6. It has been a disaster for Marquez. And That's even with a start against San Diego where he pitched 7 innings and only gave up 1 run.
Right.
Even though I will tell you, the Rockies have won both of the last 2 starts Marquez has made. Granted, the last start, Colorado won 14-12. That was the ridiculous game in Arizona last weekend. So Phillies $3 favorites on the road here today against the Rockies. All right, we'll go to Pittsburgh next. Right now, this is a funky one because as of this moment, we don't have a starter for the Brewers. It'll be Mike Burrows for the Pirates, who, again, has not started a game, has only 1 relief outing this year. So we got no pitcher and limited data on the 1 starter for Pittsburgh. The weather looks like it could be an issue. Good potential for a rain out, even though it looks like they'll have a window at about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock if they're going to go. Brewers minus 15, total 9 in this one at PNC. Would, again, pitchers really small sample size and genuinely unknown here today.
I was seeing that it would be Carlos Rodriguez, so I was thinking it's pretty much 2 AAA pitchers coming up for both of these guys. I went ahead and took a small piece of the Pirates here at plus 110, kind of going off of Chris Andrews, what he told us about a respected baseball bettor taking the dog at home that won the day before. So Pirates fit that narrative. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Michael Burrows, he has done well in AAA, especially his last few starts, giving up 1 or 0 in his last 4 starts in 4 2/3, 2.5 innings he did last in that one. So going with the Pirates here. Plus, I've kind of been fading the Brewers as well.
Yeah, Burrows, right now at AAA, his best numbers that I've seen him have in his career. Best walk to ratio, strikeout ratio he's had. He relieved a game last year, 3 1/3 innings. This is his first big league appearance this year, but he's had experience. Older guy at home. I agree. I'll take the Pirates here. These unknown circumstances plus the 108 today. I think it's somewhere in that range. The other pitcher, and I think could be Carlos Rodriguez, is who I had. He is a starter, so he'd be expected to go a little deeper in the game. He's had decent stats this year as well at AAA for Milwaukee. So, but he's a younger guy, just doesn't have as much experience.
He has 1 start, right? Against.
Yeah, I think it was last year though.
Oh, yep, 2024. 1 start. It was
three starts.
Great.
Yeah, made 3 starts in the big leagues last year.
Limited sample size still.
Very small
for both of these guys here tonight in Pittsburgh. All right, we go to Washington. It's a redux of what was supposed to be last night. That game got axed because of weather. So it's Smith, Shawver, and Williams again. What we were expecting last night. Minus 60 on Atlanta. Total 8.5 here for this one, Kenny.
Can we just play what we said yesterday on the show?
100%.
All right, Ryan, let's go to that. Let's go to that.
There we go. You like Smith Shawver. I know that.
Shawver has been really good. I was just pulling up his game logs last couple of games. And he's a guy that they've really highly touted this kid, even though he was a 7th rounder, which isn't bad, but they really tout these guys that are 1st and 2nd rounders and mainly the 1st rounders. But as of late, last 3 starts, mentioned yesterday, 19 2/3 innings. He's allowed just 8 hits and 1 earned run. So I think I got to back him here today. Trevor Williams has really struggled. Trevor Williams doesn't have that kind of stuff to make a huge recovery. Now, can he have a game where every ball is hit right at somebody? Yeah, that can happen. But most likely the guy that gets hit really hard in this game is Trevor Williams.
I really wanted to bet the over yesterday, and you said if they had a day off, you'd like it even more. So now I do like it even more. Over 8.5. I think we can get some runs here. Looking at both of these offenses in the last 7 days, they're both in the blue. I mean, looking at the Nationals against righties, they're pretty much average, 245 batting average as a team, 720 OPS. But I just like what I've seen in the last 7 days. I think we're going to get runs here.
My advantage to betting the game will be that I like Smith Shawver so much better than Williams, so I go first 5 innings. Washington has played much better as of late, 4-game winning streak, so I got to add that into my overall picture for the betting line, but I'm going to go first 5 with the Braves.
Going to the AL we go now, and to Sacramento, where the red-hot L.A. Angels, who, Alex, it's kind of crazy, this Angel season, great start, horrible middle, and now they're hot. They win again today, it'll be complete. the California two-step of sweeping the Dodgers and the A's before heading home to see the Marlins over the weekend, which is a nice little draw. It's Anderson, it's Severino. It's a big total of 10.5. A's are favored, though, to snap their losing streak at -125.
I think you got to stick with the Angels here in this winning streak. I know it is Severino, but it has been tough for him to pitch at this ballpark. I mean, looking at the numbers, he got hit up by the Yankees, the Mariners before that. I mean, really hit up 8 earned runs on 9 hits. Mariners 4 earned runs on 5 hits. And then going back, even the White Sox, 3 earned runs on 6 hits in 6 innings pitched. So I think that's some value. They're getting that +110. Small play for me on this dog as well.
Yeah, looking at Severino, a former Yankee, then moved to the Mets, has still got a very explosive fastball. And he had a decent year for the Mets last year. This year, you're right, the numbers, they're just not as good. But again, these guys are not in midseason form yet. And, Severino, really looking at his numbers, he really he had dominating stuff in 2017 and 2018 when his fastball was 98, 99. So he doesn't have the same type of stuff. I've got him rated as where am I at here on him? Slightly above average. I still have him rated well. I may have him overrated a little bit. But I want to make a case for the under. I bet the game over last night. Said it was very warm. Ball's going to carry well. It did.
Yep. This
is a pitcher's park. And I know games will start to go under. Today, the weather is not the same. It is cooling down. 78 degrees will be the high there today. It is a light breeze going to be out to left center field, which helps a little bit, but you still got to hit it. Anderson has pitched really well. I think we're at a point now where maybe getting a little overinflated with these totals in West Sacramento.
I guess another question is the Athletics against lefties and how they are going to do offensively against Anderson. Do you have your...
Yeah, I got a pretty good rating on them. I'm above average. They have this tied for the second best offensive rating today. Yankees are first. Athletics against the lefty are tied. My Padre offense is extremely high. Second best, but obviously they're not showing that right now. As Jeff pointed out, Machado and Tatis, their 2 best hitters, aren't swinging it. Those guys get hot. It's a different story.
Going to Detroit next, Bibee and Flaherty. Bibee, his last time out, gave up 10 hits over 6 innings in a loss to Cincinnati. Flaherty has been a little more erratic than you would have expected from him this year. Tigers, small favorite, -125. Total of 8 in this one. I'm just going to go real quick on the rare one for me. I like the Tigers in this one. This feels like a nice little bounce back spot for Flaherty against a Cleveland offense that, again, I don't really trust, as great as Jose Ramirez is, and even with the Papa Manzardo. I like Detroit here today. That is a cheap enough price at -125. Can't really do much better than here at the South Point. It's the only circa's -124, so it's only a penny difference on that.
I do like that side as well. I was thinking more with the Tigers team total. It is 4.5 over +110. That might be a little too expensive with an 8 here, and your numbers are leading more towards the under. I do like Flaherty's last outing. We did see him against Toronto. Went 5 2/3, 2 earned runs on 5 hits, so that was more in line with him. 6 strikeouts, just 1 walk. But you're right. Before that, I mean, he'd given up 5, 4, and 4. So it was getting a little bit rough there, but Tanner Bibee on the other side too. Really just 1 though. Before his 4 earned runs against the Reds, he did pretty good. Held the Phillies to 1 in 7. Held Toronto to 2 in 5 innings pitched. So I don't know. Maybe it is just trusting these 2 pitchers and going under in the first 5.
I'm going under. Jack Flaherty's numbers do not look good. And it looks like some inconsistency, but it's also a little bit of unluckiness. He has been unlucky. A lot of seeing eye hits falling in, and his xFIP is 3.33 for the entire season.
That's good.
He has walked just 6 hitters in his last 5 starts, and he struck out 31. So he's got a 5-to-1 ratio. He has got his command. He is hitting his spots. He's attacking hitters. He's just getting a little unfortunate, and that turns around, and it turns around quick. Jack Flaherty could throw a one-hitter today. I don't like the Guardians lineup. Love both teams' bullpens, so I'm going to go under first 5 and for the game here in this one.
What about Guardians under 3.5 plus 105?
I don't mind that at all either. I think it's to me, it's a 4-3 game. So I don't know if I have as much value going under 3.5 as I do going under 8 and maybe 4.5 for the first 5.
Next up, we go to Boston, and I'm just going to throw this out there, guys. There might not be much of a reason for us to talk about this game because the weather in Boston is horrible here today. This could very easily get the axe while we're talking to you right now. It's 100. This is pretty good. It's 100% chance of thunderstorms with a temperature of 46. These two teams played the rest of the weekend, too. I don't think there's going to be much sense of them even attempting. But if they do, it'll be Giolito and Povich, and the Red Sox are only a minus 125 favorite, a total of 8. Again, if they were to play, I would take Boston. You know my thoughts on Povich. You know my thoughts on the Orioles. But, again, based off that weather report, it would be a stunner if they even attempted to play today.
I think they're expecting an 1.5 inch rain.
Yeah, that's not good.
In the city where the ballpark's at. The wind is blowing in straight in from center field, 20 to 30 miles an hour with the gusts up to 40. So I'm sure the hitters are praying for rain as well today. That's what you're going to get there. So that's going to be axed.
Moving along, because the weather report, as we said, so bad.
Yeah.
Mariners and Stros to wrap up the baseball card for us here on a Thursday morning. Mariners will throw here today. It's George Kirby returning, which is a big deal, as we know. As good as Kirby has been in his short MLB career here at the beginning of it, Lance McCullers will go on the Astros side. Mariners, it wasn't pretty on the south side of Chicago, but they did win that series. They took 2 out of 3 from the White Sox. Astros at home, small dog with McCullers, minus 35 on Kirby, total 8.5. Kenny, I just want to start with you because you've made this point with guys who come in midstream because you always expect a shorter outing, maybe not as sharp. How would you look to play this, even knowing how good Kirby is, but coming off a long layoff here?
So I give them a rating, and I come up with an away rating on these guys, and then I take a percentage off. And a guy that's depending on how much he's pitched, but if he hasn't had a big league start, I take about 20% off his rating.
And this is the debut this year for Kirby, who's been on the IL for the first 2 months.
One of the best strike throwers in baseball. He's got the best command of any pitcher in Major League Baseball. So it'll be a big boost to get back. But again, I do talk a lot about midseason form. We know he's nowhere near that. I haven't even had a chance to look back at his minor league stuff.
I got him right here.
How many starts did he have?
He's had 3.
3.
It has not gone deep at all.
Yeah.
But definitely still throwing strikes.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see that. 2 walks, 13 strikeouts.
Yep.
So yeah, he's probably on a 70 to 75 pitch count today.
That's what the manager said.
Yep.
Exactly.
5 innings. 5 innings, maybe 6 if he's very economical. So
I'll be betting against him, and it's really maybe not betting against him, maybe more betting on Lance McCullers. And Lance McCullers is still working his way back.
Yeah.
Three outings, just 8 innings so far. One was just a third of an inning, and his last outing was better. But I really like that Astros bullpen. I think that's a big advantage in this game today. So I like the price. Give me the Astros plus that $1.20 against a pitcher who's making his first start of the season.
Already in my small dog round robin here with the Angels, the Pirates, and the Astros is my third one. Same reasoning here. I just don't know what we're going to get from Kirby. And he has struggled a little bit in minor league. Allowed 4 runs on 10 hits over 4 innings in his last rehab start. So
I don't really worry about that stuff because it's really just repetition.
Yeah.
And again, he hasn't thrown, so it can happen. And as long as he's getting his reps in, but he doesn't have enough reps in yet. I don't think he's ready for this. And that's why he's on a pitch count. If he was ready for this, they'd say he's going 100 pitches today. He's not ready.
No.
And that's why he's on a pitch count.
I'll probably take them 3 starts probably to ratchet all the way back up to 100.
That doesn't mean, though, George Kirby can't go 5 innings today and allow 3 hits, walk nobody, and strike out 6.
Well, that's why you're going full game. Even though it is a good bullpen that Seattle has, maybe they get only Kirby is inefficient, only goes 4, maybe 75 is the peak.
Yeah.
A stressful 4 innings and 66 pitches, that's going to be it more likely than not. So, so just, again, that's not a bad way to play it for sure.
The other thing is I like the Astros bats a lot better at home. So now coming back home, I think we're going to get some hits from them, whether it is Kirby or the bullpen.
All right. That's a baseball card here today. The trivia question of the day will go on the bottom line momentarily. And when we get back, we go to the ice. Game 2 in Carolina and the hardwood. Game 2 in Oklahoma City. And a reaction to some big-time blow-ups in the fourth quarter and third periods last night on the ice and on the hardwood. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Welcome back in Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. Jeff Parles, Alex White, Kenny White. Here, as always, on a Tuesday through Thursday for Kenny. Alex and I here Monday through Friday. The tomorrow's show, just throwing this out there real quick before we check in with the chat, because Chris and Company, it's out. It's out. You have months to get this card in. It's the week 1 $25,000 guaranteed jackpot parlay card. You have to pick 14 winners and 1 total, which Sunday Night Football, Ravens and Bills, week 1 will be the total on here this year. So no Thursday night, no Friday, just all Sunday and then Monday night with the Bears and the Vikings. It is available. It is only $5. As many cards as you want. Just please, all I ask you, don't wait until the first NFL Sunday of the year at 9:55 to do this. You have months to get this done, get your cards in. Even if you do it the week of, you have plenty of time that week. Just don't wait till that last Sunday. $5. It's the best. It's the best week 1 promotion in the city. Do it here. Do it at the Rampart up in Summerlin. Get your tickets in. Say hello to Dwayne if you happen to be up there. But the jackpot parlay card is ready, and it's always good to talk football in May, right? Before Memorial Day. Always good. Next week will be 100 days to the NFL season on Tuesday, right, Ryan? For 100 days. So we'll look at week 1. We'll look at the lines, which are all readily available here at the South Point.
Excited. I love this parlay card. Of course, just pick the winners. Sounds easier than it is, but got to fill out at least a few and take your shot. Trust me, as you and I both know, as all 3 of us know, not easy, especially week 1 in the NFL. Alex, quickly on the chat, welcoming back a few old friends and one first timer here. Yes, welcome in Ryan C, new to the chat. Did chime in and say football weather in Boston today.
Yeah, not good there.
Sounds about right. JR is on the Pirates under 4.5 for their team total. That's fine with me. Let's get a 3-1 win for Pittsburgh there. And Dean said he's excited and looking for another baseball winner college baseball winner from Kenny White today.
Well, college baseball tournaments in swing for the conferences. We'll have the bracket later. We'll have the bracket on Monday, and next week the NCAA tournament begins. The march to Omaha, the road to Omaha, I should say. All right, let's go to the ice. Real quick, last night, look, I'll tell you guys, first two periods, I felt really good about what I said about Edmonton. Skinner looked solid. The Oilers looked like the clearly better team, and then forget Lightning striking once. It struck 5 times in the third period. Dallas did take advantage of power plays, but even so, a 5-goal third period gives Dallas a 6-3 win and a 1-0 series lead. And look, with how volatile Stuart Skinner has been during his career, there were deflected pucks, there was power plays, but it still scares me, guys, when you have a goalie like that, who we've seen when it goes bad, it goes real bad and it stays bad for a while. Yeah. It scares me, especially not knowing what Pickett's health is fully. That is a bad sign potentially for Edmonton moving forward in this series.
It is tough. And Dallas, they did really capitalize there. They were 3 for 4 on the power play compared to Edmonton 1 for 3. So they were also great on the penalty kill. They're loaded too. I mean, both these teams are very good. And when you have Jake Ottinger, I mean, that gives you a really good shot there.
Yeah, they got me yesterday. I was, under. I went under the 6, and after I lost, and it was no big deal. I just bet 1% on it, but I thought, man, I should have stuck to the numbers. The number was 6. It is Edmonton. They can also score on the road, but I can't wait for this series to go to game 3 because I'll be loading up 4 or 5% over when they get to game 3 right away.
It is interesting. I thought your under was going to be okay because we're used to Edmonton coming back in the third period. So when it was,
when I saw 3-1,
up,
I was like, this is great. I got a good chance to win here.
But that's interesting too, because they've kind of learned how to play from behind.
Yeah.
Now, do they know how to play with a lead?
Well, I will say again with Skinner, we're just going back to him real quick. Was so good at the end of that Vegas series. Yeah. Probably the two best playoff games he's ever played. And then you had the first 2 periods. All right, you know what? 1 goal, 2 periods, no problem. Looked relatively sharp, and then just like that.
Just like
that. And that always scares me with that. And we'll talk about, actually, Kenny, since you won't be here tomorrow, real quick, are you going back to the well now that we're at 6.5 on the total, or are you just going to stay off and wait for Edmonton and go over when they're back up north?
Yes, I'm gonna wait for game 3. I'll stay off of game 2. I got caught thinking of those last 2 games against the Golden Knights. I know how good the Golden Knights are offensively, and that Edmonton defense impressed me. And I thought that's what I was going to get last night, and I did. I got it for 2 periods.
Yep.
And then you get the power play, and that you can't really torch him too bad, but he did allow several goals on those power plays. So they were 100%, 3 for 3 in that third period. So I'll pass game 2, but I will be betting game 3 over for a bigger bet.
It'll be a 6.5, and it'll probably be like minus 135.
I
but
hope
it does
it's 6.5.
If we see
I hope it's not 7.
If we see a 7 in a playoff game, that's uncharted waters. But again, we know how those games have played up in Edmonton. All but one of them so far in this postseason has gone over. All right, let's go to Raleigh. Game 2 tonight, Carolina and Florida. Panthers, of course, took game 1. Canes now are $1.30 favorites here in game 2. Totals 5.5, juice to the under. Alex, I'm just curious with your thoughts here because I'm just staying away here tonight. I just wonder with how poorly Anderson played in game 1. And we talked about this. Carolina's defense and goaltending wasn't tested too much in the first 2 rounds. I just wonder, this is a different animal with Florida. As good as Washington was in the regular season, they ran out of gas. The Devils were just so injured that they realistically didn't have a shot in that series. I'm just a little bit concerned about Anderson, especially in this spot.
I really think it's more than just Anderson. I think it's a whole team thing here. Their strength all year was their PK, and that suffered in that first game. I mean, Panthers were 2 for 3 on the power play, and so they've got to be better there on the penalty kill, and they also have to capitalize when they have an opportunity. I mean, they had 4 power play opportunities and only scored once. I think they just have to stick to their game plan, kind of like you were saying with the physicality. I think they have to worry less about hitting the Panthers back and just, try and beat them with speed here, and that's what they can do. I do think that's the right side. I mean, it's a desperation spot. I made it minus 132. Given it 25 cents here, it must win at home because they cannot go back to Florida down 0-2 in this one. But I was looking at some other bets that I think might be even better value-wise, and I like no goal in the first 10, getting even money there. I do think this is going to be a tighter, lower-scoring game than we saw in that first one. 3 goals in that first period. I do not expect that again. Or the Canes to score first is minus 125, so that's even a little bit better price here than that minus 130, but it's tough. You can't get behind with this Panthers team. So I think that is going to be an emphasis for them tonight to try and get on the board first.
I think that's a good bet. Carolina first period bet. I laid $1.27 on the Carolina yesterday, and I'm going right back with them. I hope they get more physical, though. I do hope they do. If that was the problem in game one, that the Panthers were a more physical hockey team, Carolina's got to fight back tonight. You got your backs to the wall, basically. Obviously, it's not an elimination, but digging out of an 0-2 hole against the champs, pretty tough thing to do.
Go ahead, Alex.
Well, I was just going to say, it's interesting. I mean, looking at the hits, it's 50-47. Canes, I don't know what, how much they're, and what is considered a hit, and it could just be up against the boards. But
yeah, I wouldn't read too much into it personally. Sometimes, and especially too, home scoring as well.
Yeah.
In Carolina. Just to piggyback what you were saying, Kenny, if Florida wins tonight, the series is over.
Done.
It's over.
Yep.
Look, as good as the Canes were in the regular season, they are not winning 4 out of 5 against this version of Florida unless a Bobrovsky completely blows up, which I think we're past that at this point with Bobrovsky. We don't see those blow-ups anymore like we saw in the past in the postseason. But again, it's like Florida pre-hand. There's no reason for me to back off of that right now. Series price update real quick on both of these. Florida is minus 240. Carolina's a $2 underdog. Dallas, after their win last night, is minus 190 now. Edmonton's plus 170. I would not take Carolina. I think I would just play the individual game tonight. If you like the Canes, I still like Florida. That is a very juicy price on Edmonton, but wouldn't shock me if they get an 0-2 hole here like they did against LA, and then I would come back, assuming Skinner hasn't totally melted down again, completely, come back with Edmonton if they were to lose game 2 and take a giant price after game 2 down 0-2.
Yeah, I agree on the Carolina. If you're going to bet them, I would just bet them tonight. This is the game they have to win. I don't know if they can win on the road against the Panthers. The Panthers are just such a great hockey team. So that one, the other one, Dallas, it's kind of a big price. I won't lay $1.90, but everything points in the Stars' direction now. Coming back from a 3-1 deficit to win the way they did, and the problems maybe with goaltending with the Oilers now. Ottinger, big plus for the right team, but I just don't want to lay that type of price. Maybe looking at, maybe even look at something like the Stars to win the series by 1.5 would be more something I would want to look for.
That's what I'd be looking for too. I do. And I mean, to both of your points there, I mean, you're getting Frederik Andersen. I trust him more if you're going to take a shot for either team, just goalie wise. But tonight is, of course, they have to have this one first.
To the NBA we go. And this has been, again, a postseason of epic comebacks from the Indiana Pacers. They did it to Milwaukee in the closeout in Game 5. They did it to Cleveland in Game 2. And last night, actually, I think takes the cake. You're down 17 in the fourth quarter. Brunson goes out with his 5th foul early in the fourth. Knicks hit him with a huge run to push it to 17. I'm like, all right, well, this thing's done. See you later. Now, not so fast, even being down 9 with under 50 seconds to go. The Pacers come back. Haliburton throws in a highly, honestly, for an NBA individual shot, It was the most dramatic shot made in the NBA since Kawhi Leonard's buzzer beater against Philadelphia in 2019. Because that thing went about 20 feet in the air last night and plopped down. We all thought it was a 3 live, even though it was correctly called a 2 on the court. And Indiana goes on to win 138-135 in overtime. By the way, the over was routine, which was good for us yesterday. But that is just the type of loss. And we saw it with Cleveland. Even though they bounced back in game 3, they ended up losing in 5. Milwaukee season obviously ended, so we can't really do it. But that is just such a gut punch for the Knicks, losing home court and on top of it as well. A brutal, brutal result for the Knicks. Pacers are only a minus 145 favorite to win this series now. I think I'd probably wait until after game 2 and take Indiana then, but losing home court, losing in that fashion, this looks very, I don't want to say grim, but this does not look good for the Knicks with the way they lost that game.
I still think it's probably going 7. I think the Knicks are going to get one back at some point here. But I do just want to say, and yes, Halliburton had the winning shot or the shot to force overtime, and it was fantastic. But what about Nesmith? He made 3 in a row to get them to the point to even have that shot. So 8 of 9 from 3. I mean,
6 in the 4th. Yeah. 6 in the 4th from Nesmith.
Incredible. So like you were saying, I mean, this is a stacked team there. I still just like the Knicks team. I like their grit. I don't like that Halliburton is taunting them and doing the choking symbol. So I think the Knicks will be ready. I think game 2 is probably a great spot for them. They did control a lot of that game. But yeah, it's a fun series. I still think it'll go to 7.
I hope it doesn't. I don't want it to go 7. I
just want it to be over early.
Yeah, I want it to be over. Let the Pacers sweep this 4 games, but game 2 will be awfully tough when you blow something like that. And then if you got guys that are taunting you, that's, you don't do that because that dog's sleeping. Don't kick him. Let him sleep. So you just walk right by. You kick him, he's going to attack you. And that's what the Knicks are going to try to do when they come back. Yep, Jeff, the over was easy. I loved when I saw the first couple of scores coming in and I said, they're playing exactly the way I thought they would play, but they shot the ball extremely well. Both teams shot extremely well. So I'm over again in the next one.
So this total's 5.5 points higher than it was for game 1 for game 2 right now. Close 221 last night. Easy. It's 226.5 now on game 2. So it's 5.5 points higher than it was last night. Is that still good, Kenny? Or is it now because we're 5.5 higher, you just have to stay off and see if you can get a better one in game?
It came 250 in the first game in regulation.
Yeah.
So they were just way off on the total. I mean, these two, the way Indiana plays, they don't play playoff basketball. They play regular season basketball in the playoffs because they spread the court out so well. It's amazing. I heard somebody talking about it, and the athlete, I can't remember which former NBA player it was, but he said they spread the court out so well offensively, they also spread the court out defensively. Not sure how you do that because you're not the one that's dictating how the play goes, but they spread you out defensively as well, which creates a little higher pace and it creates a little more room and it creates a little bit better looks shooting offensively. So that's why Indiana can score the way they do. And as I mentioned yesterday, 5 above average players in their starting lineup. These guys can all score.
We'll see what the Knicks can do tomorrow night. We'll break it down further on the show tomorrow. 5.5 on New York tomorrow night at MSG. Halliburton now minus 120 to win that conference final MVP, even though, again, Nesmith's performance, they do not get back in that game without Aaron Nesmith last night. And Andrew Nebhart as well hit a big one down the stretch to get that from 4-1 when they don't get any points out of the possession. The game is more than likely over. All right, we go to Oklahoma City tonight. Game 2. Quick check-in on those conference finals MVPs. You see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who was given the actual MVP yesterday, was expected, is a minus 425 favorite now to be the conference final MVP. Anthony Edwards can get 7-1 at FanDuel. But this is really coming down to what we talked about yesterday about this game for this series. Can Minnesota make shots? And the T-Wolves could not make shots in the second half of game one. Tonight, Thunder 7.5, totals 217.5 on this one. And Kenny, I know you had the under in game one. You got there with relative ease thanks to the strugglesome shooting of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Are you going back to the well here in the under here in game two?
I am going under once again, Jeff. I think the total's just a little too high. Yes, both these teams can score, but I think Minnesota is far better defensively than they're on the offensive end. I think that's really their calling card with Rudy Gobert and a couple other guys in that team that can defend at a high level. And OKC can defend. As strong as they are offensively, their defense is really good. And we saw that on display in the second half when they allowed just 40 points. But this one should be a little bit closer as the first one was early. I hope it's the same type of game that we can keep it very low scoring in the first quarter and get off to a good start. But yeah, I'm on under again.
There's been a lot of chatter about the unfair whistles here for the home team, and especially for SGA, had 14 free throw attempts. Can we expect to see less of that in this game? Now, he did drive to the basket a lot and, get those calls, but it's kind of where I'm at. Does that change anything with this? Can Minnesota keep it closer? Is 7.5 worth it here?
I think it's, again, more so than that, Alex. It just, when you shoot like Minnesota shot in game one, they were 15 of 51 from three. They were 15 of 51. Now, here's the other thing with that. They did make more threes than Oklahoma City, but Oklahoma City was 11 of 21 from three. They were efficient from three. And even with the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander 14 free throws, OKC only shot 5 more free throws than Minnesota. So, and also too, that game got out of hand. So, don't want to go too. At least I don't want to look at that too. Also, one other thing: Thunder 54 points in the paint.
Yeah.
Timberwolves 20. They're built differently. I get it, but you're not winning any NBA playoff game if you're only scoring 20 points in the paint, Kenny. It's just not happening.
No, you got to scoring in the paint's a very big stat. Teams that can get into the paint do far better. They're just getting better looks at the basket. I just pulled up the numbers. I was looking at my ratings, and I knew I had both these teams rated well above average defensively, but I just pulled up their numbers on the season and didn't realize. I really thought Minnesota may have had the slightly better defense between these two. Oklahoma City was number 1 in the NBA by a wide margin.
Yeah.
Wide margin. And Orlando's right there as the number 2 best defensive team. The Clippers 3, the Celtics 4, the Rockets 5, and then the Minnesota Timberwolves number 6. So those are the best defensive teams in the NBA. We've got 2 of the best going head to head in this game, and that's why I have a lower total on it. And I feel much even more comfortable now with my total, knowing the Thunder. I can't believe how high the rating I have on the Thunder, and I don't have their defense rated the best in the NBA. So
68.
If I got to raise their defensive rating, now they're the best team of all time.
68 wins in a regular season will do that, Kenny.
I didn't even realize that. 68. What's the record?
73 for Golden State, who,
Yeah.
of course, famously did not win the NBA title that year.
Yeah.
That was, of course, the 3-1 collapse.
What a year.
So,
What a year.
that as we know. All right. We got 2 WNBA games real quick.
Revenge spot?
Just want to hit these before we get to the whiteboards here, before we get out of here on a Thursday. Revenge game, as you just said, Alex White. Indiana, Atlanta. Dream, of course, went to Indianapolis and upset the Fever 2 days ago. Now back at it here in Atlanta, the second half of the home and home. Fever are 4 on the road. Total is 173 in this one.
Man, you got to add some in there for the Fever. You made me a little nervous when you talked about how physical the Dream was with the Fever, though, and that is something that is going to come into play again here with the centers that they have. But I think it's got to be Fever, right?
Oh, no doubt about it. Atlanta got their attention.
Yeah.
You lose on your home court. You don't forget that. Well, They don't have long. They're playing right away. So I absolutely love Indiana. Their coach is a outstanding defensive coach.
Stephanie White, yep.
Yeah, they have the offense. They have the offensive pieces. When she gets her defensive system in place, this Indiana team they're going to be battling. I think they'll be battling New York. I know they will be battling New York for the chance to play for the championship. But yeah, I'm going to be right on Indiana here tonight. I think they get off to the early lead in this one and they go wire to wire here.
I have a total question for both of you real quick, because the matchup the other night was 181 points. 91-90 was the final score. We're coming in 8 points lower on this total. Because they played so recently here, does this lean more to the under, or does it go the same route as the other night? I know Indiana had to come back, and maybe that inflated the score a little bit 2 nights ago in Indianapolis.
Yeah, there's been a lot of points scored in the last 2 minutes of a couple of these WNBA games that you have to look out for. And I'm talking about a lot. Last night, there were 2 games that there were 24 points in the last 2 minutes in one game and 26 in the other.
Well, I ended up getting there in the Mercury Sparks over, even with LA scoring 7 points in the third quarter.
So that was one of the games that had that big last 2 minutes of the game. The other was the Golden State team winning their first game against Washington. That was such a dead under, and it ended up hitting, I think, 150. I mean, it still went way under, but you got 24 points the last 2 minutes. It's actually deceiving. You don't get that type of scoring all the time, but you did in this Indiana-Atlanta game. So I went under the other game, and the reason why I went under, Stephanie White. And when I know I've got a defensive coach, I'm a little bit more conservative on how high I can make a total. So I'll be under again in this one, but a little bit bigger play on Indiana.
That's it.
One more game real quick. Liberty are big favorites in Chicago against the Sky. Not a shock. Liberty's still the number one team in this league, power rating wise. 12 here in this one, 164 the total. I will say real quick, Liberty and Fever play each other in Indianapolis in 2 days. So just wonder, is there for both of them tonight, even maybe a little bit subdued with Indiana because they just lost to Atlanta, but potentially a little bit of a look-ahead spot early in the season for both of these teams here tonight with them facing each other in 2 days.
Before the first meeting, Indiana-Atlanta, before the game started, I'm trying to figure out why are people betting Atlanta, because I just can't see it, because I'm thinking Indiana is a public team.
Yeah.
And so when I got a public team and money's coming in against them, I'm looking for injuries. Is somebody out for Indiana? What's the deal? And the only thing I could come up with is they play New York coming up soon, but I knew they had Atlanta twice. So I didn't think they would, have a kind of a look ahead in that situation. If there was going to be a look ahead, I thought it would be this game tonight,
right.
But now it can't be because they have home revenge. So they've got to be focused. They don't want to go into New York losing 2 straight to Atlanta. New York, I don't think cares about Indiana. They care about Las Vegas. I guess there is a little feeling, but they're going to tell you, we don't really care about anybody. We just care about us. We're the champs. We just go play our game every night. So they can name the score here, as I mentioned the other night with the Aces, could name the score, and they did against Connecticut. I think New York can name the score here against Chicago if they want to or not.
They all do care a little bit about the attention and the ratings and everything that Indiana gets.
Yeah, that's true.
And they want to prove that they've been here and have already been playing good basketball.
We saw that last year when you're playing Indiana, Caitlin Clark's there, and all the attention they get in the sellout crowds.
Yeah.
Teams did play harder against them.
Oh, yeah. You're moving to the big arenas, too, a lot of times.
For this one, by the way, I kind of like this game under. I don't think Chicago's going to score. But again, what Kenny said, maybe a little bit of a concern, especially if these games are tight down the stretch. A lot of excess fouling and a lot of excess points down the stretch in a few of these games last night. All right, we're going to take a quick break, get the whiteboard set up. We'll get the trivia answer, and we'll wrap things up on a Thursday right here, Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
Once you've satisfied your hunger, get ready for more of the hottest casino games in Vegas. Our 24-hour, 30-table non-smoking poker room proudly hosts all the most popular poker games with a variety of betting limits. Visit the poker room for a schedule of daily tournaments. Whether you're going to hold 'em or fold 'em, the best place for poker is at South Point Casino. You'll notice that our craps tables are usually the loudest in the casino. If you've never played, join one of our free craps lessons to find out what makes this game so exciting. Check with the craps dealer for schedules and give it a roll. Bingo is also an exciting way to spend your time. We offer 7 sessions of bingo every day. And each session includes a cash ball jackpot, 12 bingo games, a progressive double action game, and a $10,000 bonus coverall. Electronic units are available. If you haven't played bingo with us, give it a try today. Guests can also get in on the action at our one-of-a-kind race and sports books, 2 separate rooms designed to maximize your experience and comfort. Our sports book, with over 400 seats, puts you right in the middle of the action, 24 hours a day. The friendly ticket writers are happy to help, and it's conveniently located next to the famous Del Mar Deli, where you'll find supersized portions of delicious deli items like roast beef, pastrami, and Reuben sandwiches, or soups, salads, and pizza, plus spectacular desserts fit for a king. And right next door is the race book, over 150 seats, each with its own TV screen. There are 16 interactive player terminals, so you can bet right from your seat.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
This is the best sports betting network.
I would argue it is a total mismatch.
There's value with underdog prices in series.
I would lean to the under here.
My numbers are saying I got to bet the Tigers.
Two-way action.
When in doubt, we juice that favorite, that extra nickel.
Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
Forget about it. The best.
Welcome back in Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. The whiteboards are getting crafted as we speak. To my right. Before we get to those, though, we'll go to the trivia question of the day from the ticker. We get a golf one. Which professional golfer was the first woman to compete in a PGA Tour event in 51 years on this date in 2003? And that, of course, is the GOAT of women's golf, and that's Annika Sorenstam, who did it in 2003. The other one, of course, on your left, that's Shirley Spork, did it in 1952. But Annika Sorenstam did it again in 2003. And, of course, the most wins ever for a woman golfer, 96 career wins for Sorenstam, just shy of 100. JR on the board yet again, 3 straight for JR after a few days off for JR. It took his own little rest break and is back with 3 straight wins here today on the trivia ticker question of the day. All right. Whiteboard time here on a Thursday, and Alex is all ready to go. So, Ryan, you can go ahead and play it across the board. And, Alex, you got a few plays, including looking like a potential round robin of some underdogs here today.
Yes, not big bet on that at all. That's why I put half a unit, because it's going to be a small round robin. Well, I've already made it, but if you'd want to tail, I would just do a very small bet there. But 2, I'm going to do 1 unit on both of these. No goal in the first 10 for the Canes and the Panthers. That is even money. And then Liberty -4 against the Dream. And, I like that Atlanta Dream team as well, but I really think Caitlin Clark and company show up tonight. I went over these 3 dogs as we were going through baseball, but I do like the Angels to keep their winning streak going. I like the Astros back at home, and I like the Pirates at home getting a small plus price there.
Pirates, Angels, and Astros. Alex, you shortchanged yourself on the price of the Astros too. You can get it plus 125 now, so you can do even better right now here on a Thursday morning here. And Kenny will have his board up in a second, and it's full. I can tell you that it's full. It's also in green. It's a new go of it here today.
Green.
And
green.
Look at that. Actually, wait a second.
Green.
You managed to hit every single sport that's on the board here today, Kenny.
I tried to.
On a Thursday, including some college baseball in those conference tournaments.
I didn't have enough room for the Russian ping pong, but
damn.
Hopefully next week I can do that. NBA, OKC, Minnesota, 2 top 5 defensive teams going at it under 217. I think it'll be a close game throughout, which makes it very competitive. WNBA, I'm on Indiana with that revenge factor minus the 4. Hockey, Carolina. I think the best way to play it is that first period. Lay the $1.30. They got to get out in front. They got to be physical early. Major League Baseball, Braves, first 5 innings. I'm laying the half, so I don't have to lay a big price. I got a huge edge in pitching here, I think, in the first 5. Smith-Shawver over Williams. Again, the Angels A's, the weather has been great in West Sacramento for the last month, and these games flew over today will maybe be the worst weather they've seen. And I like the way I've seen, I know the Angels starter Anderson has pitched really well. So under 10.5 there. College baseball, San Diego State, Nevada, over 13.5. That one's being played in Mesa, Arizona. Very warm there, day game. And then Fullerton plays Cal Poly tonight in Fullerton, 7:00 game, cooler temperatures. Ball just doesn't carry there, and Cal Poly's got a really good team. They're a team that's got a chance at maybe qualifying for the College World Series if they get the right breaks in the regional. Their number 1 and 2 pitchers are outstanding.
Oh.
We'll have the bracket soon. Next time you're on with us, Kenny, we'll have the bracket, so we'll be able to take a look at it when you're with us next Tuesday. All right, that's all we got here on a Thursday. Kenny, enjoy your weekend. Tomorrow on the show, Vegas Matty will join us. Contests are right around the corner. Vinny Malliul will join us. Alex will join us from the ballpark at the WCC tournament. For Kenny, for Alex, I'm Jeff, Ryan, Sean, Drew Dog, and Vince. Thank you all as always. We'll see you again next time. Sports by the Book.